Welcome to another episode of Story Time of Piglet Theme. This is Piglet Theme. Say hi to the world, kitty cat. Yeah. So, my last story episode on this channel with Piglet was regarding coyotes. Yeah, again, so welcome to another episode of fun, snuggly, hope-filled, and happy stories of Piglet Theme. So, my last story was about coyotes eating some homeless bum, right? So, you want to get down? You want to do other things? You want to do another thing? Okay, don't let me drop you. Come on. Hey, no, don't scratch me. I got you. So, we were going to some abandoned house in Inland Empire, whatever, California, a billion years ago when I was a young lad. And we get out of the car. There's like a billion people in one car. We actually have chicks with us and stuff. And there's this big dirt field with a bunch of tall, like, withered grass. And in the distance, so you can't even see what's going on. And in the distance, you hear like that, right? The first thing I thought was like it's some kind of like sick, dying old yak or some kind of llama. I don't know why I thought that kind of stuff. I thought it was some kind of farm animal, or I did think it was a human being possibly too. But in scenarios like this, your mind doesn't want to think the worst case scenario. So I was like, not long after, I was like, you guys, do you hear that? You right? All you heard was like a billion coyotes go off. I can't see in any direction, like where that's coming from. I don't see any coyotes. We just hear some crazy stuff going on in this remote place. One of the dudes who was the idea to go there really liked to freak himself out. He was really far ahead of the whole pack. Most people were talking amongst themselves, trying to talk to the chicks. They quickly stopped caring about what the noise was. They only went along for the walk. And yeah, we went to some scary abandoned shack or small house. Really tall dirt field. I'm pretty sure I got itchy as very itchy from walking through that later. So anyways, I could keep elaborating. I'm a huge ogre, so I got to carry some chick, or got mandated to, and impressed her by like basically freaking carrying her over tall ass grass to wherever we were going and ended up. But so be careful out there. What I surmise happened years later, thinking about that incident, there must have been some indigent or transient person who was either old, sick, or drunk, famished. Somebody who wanted to get away from, honestly, what this story should be about is how mandatory gentrification kills people. So this town that we were in is like very, very proclivatized to that. If you're like a wanderer, if you're from out of town, we used to see these, we call them skids. Basically like punk rockers, thrash metal people that go to the underground thrash metal scene, death metal, whatever. They look like shit. And they dress very, like, they look homeless, but they look like punk rocking rebel homeless people. Those kind of people are prime candidates. Them and people who aren't even asking for it, like people who are mentally handicapped and just poor as possible. Back in those days, I think politics and the scene has changed, but Karens, mandatory gentrified Karen police, would call cops to escort those people the F out of town. So I'm pretty sure it happened was some homeless person, cat's going to sleep, good kitty, some transient or some person that was really drunk or famished or dehydrated or just wanted to be somewhere where Karen can't call the cops, fell prey to a bunch of coyotes. And this is kind of a lesson learned. Like, you know what I've noticed? Albeit a lot of these people come from troubled homes and they're probably not that bad of people, but fell into drug problems and anger problems, and maybe their parents are very neglectful or contentious. They have a tumultuous home or whatever, and they always want to, and then they end up with people who are not good for them. If you look at people like John Wayne Gacy, the freaking clown killer, like a lot of his victims are Jeffrey Dahmer, some of his victims. They lured other people under the guise of they're going to drink beers, they're going to get drunk, smoke some weed, get high, do drugs, go chill with some dude, you know, and even watch like pornographic material. Then all of a sudden they're like drugged, or they're hit over the head, or they're handcuffed and they're murdered and tortured and raped. So it goes to show you that a lot of people who have troubled lives or whatever, they end up like further like on a decline to a huge, dangerous, vulnerable situations. And I'm pretty sure, looking back at it so many years, that this was a transient or indigent person that wanted to be on the outskirts of society to probably drink or something, was probably really, really drunk and got attacked and eaten alive by a bunch of coyotes. And it's the same thing of people who are vulnerable. Like, this video is a lesson to any people out there. Don't hang out with bad people. I was luckily big and ugly, and I was an ogre for my age. And when I was younger, when we would ditch school and go hang out, we ended up by some very, precarious adults, man. They were trying to get us to like help them rob something, steal something. And one dude this is another crazy story, this really happened. Some older man named Greg that looked like shit was obviously hitting on our friend Sean, and one of our fake friends named Will was letting that all go down. I'm 13 years old back then. I don't have any common sense. He's letting all that happen and putting his own friend in jeopardy, so we all had somewhere to go to have free weed and free alcohol. And that dude, who was admittedly like a big bubba in prison, was trying to get at our friend Sean and would be drunk and really hit on him in weird ass ways. It's just not people that aren't good for you. And years later, some other dude that wasn't a big creepy bubba, but that was very effeminate and very like metrosexual or the like, was drunk calling and hitting on our friend, another friend named Sean, that was also fit the same look as the original Sean that I was talking about, just taller and stuff. I'm telling you that history repeats itself very, very odd. And like, I'm a security personnel, so if anybody watches this video, remember, don't hang out with people that are bad for you. Don't subjugate yourself to vulnerable, precarious situations. Especially if you're a female, it could be dudes too. But be careful. I knew some dude. He admitted that he almost got drugged and raped or whatever. And he was a very, very tough guy, ex-Marine, all this, had tattoos everywhere. Lesson learned. Don't take drinks, don't take free rides Nobody rides for free. If you're gonna party, buy your own shit. Make sure it's not laced. Don't get roofied. Don't be in precarious situations. If you get bad vibes from people, dip the fuck out. Swerve. Bounce the fuck out. Whatever the slang is nowadays. And be advised, your instincts will sometimes fail you because people learn over trial and error to come off as genuine, authentic, and benevolent as can be. So anyways, out there, you guys, don't get in a vulnerable situation, and remember collectively that these fucking kind of sick fucks deserve to get their ass utterly fucking whipped and worse, depending on the degrees of their fucking malevolence. Like, I saw some documentary about that Subway fucking goober nerd that was all a fucking chomo. That dude's in prison and he's doing great, man. The system's all fucked up. If you get in a fucking life or death situation and you become a victim, or you have to handle business and either fucking defend yourself or avenge yourself or whatever, the law is not on your side. Your assailant is going to stand in court posing as the victim. He might have crying ass family backing him up. Your own righteous indignation might make you look like a bad guy to stupid people. And at worst, that person, if he goes to prison, he's just going to get protective custody. He's going to have good behavior, and the fucking jail guards are going to leave his ass alone. Whereas other inmates who have less creepy ass offenses would utterly kill that person. So anyways, again, the point of this video is that if you're living a fucking man, I don't know if you understand this term, the dark side of the underbelly, or a fucking dark, or a fucking shady, or a fucking precarious ass fucking path. You get the fucking point. Watch your fucking ass. The straight and narrow is the fucking best way. And if you come from a fucked up house, just try to make shit fucking better. You know, like, I know some kids that when they were growing up all fucked up, they should have just went to Denny's with a fucking 24-hour restaurant, bought coffee over and over and over, and did their fucking homework. When you're really young, people will cut you breaks like that. Don't look like shit. Don't look like a menace. Don't be a menace. The older you fucking get, the more that you can't just sit there and drink coffee all night long. They're gonna fucking kick you out. Nobody's gonna give you a chance. Nobody's gonna have any pity on your ass. So anyways, God bless you guys, and be safe.